Hello everyone. So this is me doing Keeslyn Roberts, and I'm trying to read her astrology chart, and also for the first time do the location map, doing the planet, the planet, basically mapping the position of the planets in the sky and then mapping them on Earth, okay, on an actual map. I have learned from Kirsty McIntosh. This is her book, okay, Understanding the Chart. Sadly my cover has come off the book. So, yeah, anyway, I use this a lot, so I lost my cover. I'm probably going to have to, like, break down and buy a new book, just because, well, Kirsty provides us with these charts in the back, so, we can, write down cases, and mine is like full, so I don't really have much more room left. So I've gone through all the places that she gives us areas to draw maps up on and stuff. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. She also has a book on Amazon that's just empty charts. So I might get that, but I mean, my book is in pretty bad shape because I use it so much. But anyway, right now I'm trying to, let me turn on the little lamp here. Oops. Plug it in. 1 second. Hold on, guys. I'm sitting on my daughter's bed right now, because I can shut the door to keep the dog from jumping up on everything, and my husband's here and he's watching the news and it's really loud and annoying. So I'm just gonna do making do. Okay, I have the settings on this as low as possible because I think that it allows you guys to see better. At least I hope that it does. And so we're going to try to enter some asteroids right now. I have a hard time saying that word as well. Asteroids right now, and go over her astrology and then show you guys how I finally broke down for Keeslyn Kirsty's way of doing the maps. So this is what I have. You guys can see it took me hours to do this, to do the math and all that, and come up with a chart. And sorry, I just lost you. Okay. I've actually done it. So I can't believe I figured it out. I'm actually shocked that I figured it out. But if you guys want to learn location astrology, learning Kirsty's way for a person with me that does struggle with learning. I mean, I have a learning curve disability, not a bad one. It's minor, but it does mess with me a little bit. Like, not just words that I get mixed up. It's the symbols of these, like Capricorn and Leo look identical to me on a chart. Like, I really have to break it down and double check. And then sometimes, like, I just get, when I'm doing a live with you guys, I get nervous, right? And then I just freeze and I forget. Like, I forget what the 8th house means, or I forget what the 7th house means, you know, like I just freeze. So it's hard for me to break down the charts live, and I hope you guys understand that. It's just it's difficult. So we're just going to talk a little bit about Keeslyn and how she literally disappeared off the face of the earth, okay? So I'm trying to now enter her asteroids. So I entered Nessus and Nemesis. And I want to enter the fixed star Algol as well. Because I just want to look at Algol. Okay, so you can kind of see here the asteroids and fixed stars that I'm entering. I think I should enter Car as well, because this girl went missing from a travel center, right? So do other objects, asteroids names, and I'm going to do Car. So we'll do letter C, and I believe Car is C-A-R-R. And we use Car in the Michael Vaughn's case as well, because I do feel that a car is involved somehow with Michael Vaughn. So I'm going to enter it for her chart too, because it's a travel lodge, right? Travel center, I mean, not travel lodge. C-A-R-R, I believe. Let me see if I can just type it in, C-A-R-R. Okay, while I'm pulling up the chart, I'm just going to have you guys watch the most recent news clip with Keeslyn. Okay, so this is the most recent news clip about her.
Local 3 News at 4 with Cindy and Dave.
Sorry, I don't know how to share my screen yet, guys, so...
It's been 3 years since anyone has seen or spoken to Keeslyn Roberts.
She was 20 years old at the time of her disappearance, and as Liam Collins reports, it's been breaking her parents' hearts ever since.
3 years ago, Keeslyn Roberts seemed to vanish from this truck stop in Gordon County without a trace. Police found her car here with all of her belongings inside. Her parents tell me they feel
bizarre,
they're closer
right?
to answers than ever
before. She
before.
left her car, all her belongings.
Everyone praying and looking.
That's all Eric and Shannon Roberts feel they can do these days. 3 years ago Friday, they would visit their daughter Keeslyn at her new home, tell her they love her, and never see her again. She would be 23 years old today.
She had so many dreams. She wanted to be a marine biologist, and she got detoured.
The Roberts say their daughter fell in with the wrong crowd,
Yeah, there's
getting
a lot
caught
of
up
Neptune
with drugs.
energy, too.
They say it
So that's
derailed her
drugs and
life and
stuff.
maybe the reason she seemed to vanish into thin air.
I think the answers will come out on the people that's involved.
We just don't understand exactly what happened, just
Where it went wrong.
just where it went wrong.
Keeslyn was last known to be at the Flying J truck stop in Resaca, Georgia. That's where police found her car. Inside were her keys, her book bag, and her wallet, but she was nowhere to be found. Since then, her parents have hired a private investigator. They say they've received hundreds of tips for what may have happened in the days leading up to her disappearance.
And the things that we're hearing, we don't know if those are 100% proof. It's just what's going around and being said.
Neither the Roberts nor investigators said they were able to share what the investigation has uncovered so far. The GBI is leading the investigation. The Murray County Sheriff's Office is assisting. Sheriff Jimmy Davenport could not share where the focus of the search is right now.
I really feel like we're close to something. Just don't know exactly what.
3 years later, Keeslyn's disappearance still tears them apart. They hope a new year will bring new hope, that 2023 will be the year they finally get answers to what happened to their little girl.
I keep trusting God that He's going to bring her home safely, and I can't give up. I cannot give up.
If you know anything about Keeslyn's disappearance, you're asked to call the Murray County Sheriff's Office or the GBI, but the family also wants you to call their private investigator. You can find all of those numbers inside the Local 3 News app. Reporting from Gordon
All right,
County.
so that's
Liam
what we
Collins,
have for
Local 3 News.
the most recent news on Keeslyn,
Judge Mathis here.
which is why
I'm laying-
well, I had a subscriber that wanted to, you know, to do this for a subscriber, and I'm doing that for them. And I appreciate them asking me to do this because it really forced me to want to break down the charts and learn how to do the maps with the scribble maps. All this time I've been trying to use Google Maps, and I now realize that, you know, that's why I wasn't really getting anywhere with Google Maps. It doesn't allow you to do what Scribble Maps does. If you want to learn how to actually map out the planets in the heavens, in the sky, to match the directional path on land, it's Scribble Maps is the way to go. So Nemesis is the asteroid that I wanted to pull up. You can see here that it's an asteroid of, you know, karmic balancing. It's also linked to vengeance. So we're not looking at all of the good and fuzzy and warm and beautiful things right now. We're going to be pulling apart the negative things in true crime, okay? So we're looking at the dark side of what these planets can bring forward, all right? Just so you understand, we're doing true crime, and this isn't a natal chart. This is a crime chart. So it's not a birthday. It's not the time somebody was born. This is the time that she went missing. This is actually the 911 call. What in the heck? Okay, I got to go back and fix my chart. So I entered the asteroid Car, which means travel, and cargo, like, you know, delivery drivers, taxi drivers. It was why I entered it for Michael Vaughn's case. You know, it means travel in a car. It has to do with transportation, okay? Cargo as well. So I wanted to enter that, but let me go back and enter, because I wanted to enter Nemesis and Nessus. Nemesis shows up in the second house, which can mean possessions. Somebody may have wanted a piece of her property, something that she owned, or they looked that she had, or someone looked at her as a piece of property, right? You could look at it like that as well. So Nemesis is showing up in the second house. Just give me a second to find it. I have the light feature turned down really low, high. I'll turn it down low because then I feel like you guys can see the computer better. I hope that helps. It's harder for me to see though, so just bear with me. But I want to make sure that you guys can see more so. And that it's not blinding you with the brightness. So we're looking for Nemesis and Nessus. Nessus is another asteroid that means abuse. Really bad physical abuse. It can mean sexual abuse in children. It can mean, you know, it's not good, okay? It's not a good Nemesis. There it was. I just saw it. Nemesis. Right here. 128 is Nemesis. So this is where God numbers all the stars and all the asteroids in the sky. This is where he does it. These are its numbers. That's where you can see it. Right. So the next is going to be Nessus. And Algol. We'll enter Algol as well, who is a fixed star. Okay, now we'll do show the chart. So Car is showing up in the 7th house, which rules the open enemy to our victim. Our victim is showing up in Leo, so that means that our victim is going to be ruled by the color gold, and she has golden hair, right? And Leo does rule the lion's mane, right? So it's letting me know that her hair is going to be golden, right? Let's see, Leo also rules I will. So she had a will. There was a purpose for her to be there. I just don't know what that purpose is. It rules the heart and the back. You know, the lion's mane, the hair on what our victim is going to look like. Also rules her being loyal. So she could be being loyal to someone here in this as well. So the second house, this is another book that I like to reference, guys. It's Caroline Lilly, Forensic Astrology. So we'll talk about the second house here, right? So in here she also mentions belongings, you know, that we could be looking at. The second house rules belongings, or that, you know, our victim was looked at as a belonging, and we have nemesis in that house, meaning that she has vengeance about property. So could it be, you know, somebody wanted a piece of her jewelry, or looked at her like a piece of property, and that it's an enemy to her, right? Sorry, it looks like you guys are crooked. I'm trying to make you straight. All right, my dog's laying next to me, so you might hear snoring or whatever. Okay, the other thing that we'll look at here is the fact that there's a lot of earth. She's in Leo, so she's being ruled by the sun. Our DC, which is our open enemy, is being ruled by Aquarius. So that's Saturn, our Uranus, and we have Saturn also in earth, Uranus also in earth. So I would say nemesis is in earth. Water energy, Neptune is in water. The moon is in water. And the moon is the second co-ruler of a missing person, especially if they're a child under 5. It's really important to look at the moon. So the moon would be her second co-ruler as well. Venus is in water too, so there's something with emotions with the woman she had a fight with, possibly drugs. Neptune is playing a role in her chart, so I am going to say that I do feel like drugs is somewhat involved here. This enemy to her, the one that wanted vengeance in some sort of way, is in earth as well. Jupiter is in earth. Uranus is in earth. Pluto is in earth, and Pluto represents death on a chart. So here you have fire, air, earth, water. So I would say we're looking at, she might be in earth, right? Which would be a shallow grave. Concrete is considered earth as well. Don't forget that. And she might be near a water source of some sort, or she's down in someone's basement where there's plumbing or something like that, near like where there's like a bathroom, or where there's a shower, or where there's plumbing to the house, something like that, right? Something to consider. All right, let me try to, sorry guys, I don't know how to share the screen yet. I don't know how to do that yet, so just be patient with me when I learn this stuff. I don't even know if my computer is even well enough to even share. Like I don't even know if my computer would even do it, you know, because it's so old. This is a very old computer. Okay. I'm working on it, guys. One day I'll have better resources for you, and then I'll be more professional. All right, so in Kirsty's book now, we're going to go back to her book. It says injuries to Leo. So distribution of vital forces, and especially through the blood, heart issues, palpitations, or trembling, or any disease of heart. In man, he governs the heart, the brain, and the right eye. In woman, the left eye. Any injury to the chest area, gunshot to the heart, spine, and something to keep in mind, rules some metals, and heart and spine is Leo. Spinal problems as well. So it'd be interesting to know if she actually had spinal issues or that she sustained an injury to her back as well. So it would be vital organs that make the heart stop beating. It can also be a gunshot wound to the heart, stabbing in the back as well. And I go in and break down Mars here in a second. Okay, so we have Mars in the womb and in the tomb. The fourth house is basically how the end of the crime would happen, okay? So Mars is there. Mars is the god of war. That little arrow that comes off of Mars's little shield there, that's his spear and his shield. So Mars is considered the bloody planet, and it basically means murder, okay? That's something that pierces the skin and stabs the skin. Now, I am showing the 10th degree in Sagittarius, and that is another indicator of murder, and that's in the womb and in the tomb. I also have Pluto at the 22nd degree as well. That is another indicator for a death degree as well. Pluto is the planet that rules the 8th house, which rules sex, death, and taxes and other people's money. And it is conjunct the ruling what rules Saturn, hair, skin, DNA, your skeleton, a person's body, but it's also ruling our open enemy as well, because we have Aquarius on the DC line, and the ancient planet to Aquarius is Saturn, and Pluto is conjunct Saturn, meaning that it's next to. When we say conjunct, it means next to. I'm going to try to talk like normal so it doesn't confuse you guys. Conjunct means next to. So Pluto is conjunct next to our open enemy. That's the planet that's ruling the enemy to Keeslyn, okay? So the 22nd degree is a kill or be killed degree. Keeslyn is also showing up at the 28th degree, which is a sign of urgency. It is a karmic crossroads, right? That she is feeling vulnerable. We also have Cancer, a North Node in Cancer, and that means that she's emotional and she's vulnerable, okay? So 28th degree is urgency, kind of a degree as well, okay? I know this is very sad and hard to break down this chart, but I'm going to try to continue to tell you how I see it. And Nessus is in the 7th house, which can also mean physical abuse. We have Chiron in the 8th house as well, which represents death, and that's a wound that never heals. Opposite of a wound that never heals is the nemesis, an enemy to her, vengeance, somebody wanting either revenge or wanting to hurt her, an enemy looking at her as a possession. Neptune can mean pillow talk and doing things with secret affairs, doing illegal activity in the bed, not the bedroom, but on a bed, So, it's also at a 16th degree, which rules Cancer. So could she have been taken back to a home? It rules someone's home, a safe place. Or the fact that I have car conjunct with Mercury, it could mean that this happened in a car as well, that this happened in a vehicle or in a truck. We are at a truck stop, so let's not forget a truck driver. Also, let's break down the 5th house a little bit more and how it is a house of service. And this did happen. She had an altercation with a female at a restaurant. So let's break that down now. Actually, I'm going to look at this little square at the bottom of the screen. I'm trying to focus it and so you guys can see it. Let's break that down first. Okay, the other thing that we'll look at here is the fact that there's a lot of Earth. She's in Leo, so she's being ruled by the sun. Our DC, which is our open enemy, is being ruled by Aquarius. So that's Saturn or Uranus, and we have Saturn also in Earth, Uranus also in Earth. So I would say Nemesis is in Earth, water energy, Neptune is in water, The moon is in water, and the moon is the second co-ruler of a missing person, especially if they're a child under 5. It's really important to look at the moon. So the moon would be her second co-ruler as well. Venus is in water too, so there's something with emotions with the woman she had a fight with, possibly drugs. Neptune is playing a role in her chart, so I am going to say that I do feel like drugs is somewhat involved here. This enemy to her, the one that wanted vengeance in some sort of way, is in Earth as well. Jupiter is in Earth. Uranus is in Earth. Pluto is in Earth, and Pluto represents death on a chart. So here you have fire, air, earth, water. So I would say we're looking at she might be in Earth, right? Which would be a shallow grave. Concrete is considered Earth as well. Don't forget that. And she might be near a water source of some sort, or she's down in someone's basement where there's plumbing or something like that, near like where there's like a bathroom, or where there's a shower, or where there's plumbing to the house, something like that, right? Something to consider. All right, let me try to. Sorry, guys, I don't know how to share the screen yet. I don't know how to do that yet, so just be patient with me when I learn this stuff. So we also have Mercury, which rules transportation. It rules the 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house that rules Gemini. It rules short distant journeys around your neighborhood. That's the 3rd house. And it's ruled by Gemini as well. Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury. And Virgo rules the 6th house. So we might have a vehicle involved because there's air here, travel, communication, and also the asteroid that I plugged in, car, C-A-R-R, which means transportation, cargo, moving something, okay? It can be moving somebody in possibly a trunk as well. Well, maybe. I'm not sure about that. Not 100%, but that she may have been in a car. So a vehicle is involved in this somehow. As far as a body location, I believe she's in Earth. There might be a water source nearby, but I'm thinking more so she could be in Earth because we have Saturn in Aquarius and Capricorn. So that's totally Susan Morphew vibes. It's really on a cusp here. Saturn rules the hair, the skin, the nails, anything that has your DNA in it. Don't forget concrete. I don't want to rule out concrete either. I mean, it is possible. Aquarius rules like drainage ditches, fresh water sources. So not the ocean, fresh water sources, and Earth. Saturn is cold and dry. So, I mean, you can think of sandy area, but I'm thinking more so she's possibly in Earth. Plus, there's all that Earth down here on her chart. So, I would probably definitely say Earth. All right, so let's start breaking down the rest of her chart. So, the one thing that I'm noticing here is, you know, that 10th degree in with Mars there in Sagittarius, it is a fixed star of murder. We have basically, you know, Uranus playing a role here, which means that the 6th house rules your everyday, you know, your everyday events. That something shocking happened to this girl, something out of the ordinary, something shocking that, you know, took her out of her everyday event. Something out of the norm happened. Mercury is square Uranus here as well. So, I mean, that can be a shocking event in a car. In a scenic area, somewhere that is outdoors, possibly. So, in Aquarius rules things that are unexpected, you know, shock. A shocking event unfolded. The 6th house also rules service, how you are of service to others. So, you can see here, so she had a fight with a woman at the place. Okay, that's showing up, or there's a woman that's a witness, or there could be a woman that's involved. But because this is the 911 call, it was I believe it's an altercation with a woman. At least that's what the astrology is saying. The sixth house rules service. So a service worker, right? The 6th degree in Venus. So there's a female that's at work, right? And our victim is showing up at a place of work. Here's what it says about the 6th house. Also rules runaways, the 6th house. So that's another reason why I look at the 6th house for Virgo for sexual predators, okay? For children. Because it can rule runaways. And stuff that happens, you know, to virgins, right? Because Virgo, think about it. Virgo, the virgin, right? So that's why I always look at the 6th house like that. A lot of people don't want to think of Virgos like that, but the negative aspects, remember, this is true crime, okay? This is crime. We're breaking down these planets in a criminal aspect way. This isn't the rainbow and butterflies of a birth chart or a natal chart. This is not a natal chart. Okay. So, the 6th house, in all cases, this describes work, service, physical, right? Work, being at work, okay? It also is somebody's physical health, their well-being. So, I mean, could she have been having a mental breakdown? Pluto conjunct Saturn can mean that someone's having a lot of emotional distress as well. On a natal chart, it could mean, I mean, I hate to say it, but it could mean that somebody wanted to take their own life, or they were having thoughts of possibly taking their own life on a natal chart. But again, this is a crime chart, and Saturn is possibly ruling our, Uranus is possibly ruling our killer, and so is Saturn. So, and you know, the 6th house does rule runaways. So, I mean, could she have tried to run away? Also is an indication that if she was trying to run away, that we might not ever see her again after this. And that's basically exactly what happened. See, you know, if the child will never be seen again. If angular planets are in this house, says, in some cases, the 7th house or the 1st house ruler in the 6th house can mean someone in the armed forces, most often Army or Navy. Well, I mean, basically someone of authority was called, because this is the 911 call, right? So it rules the workplace at the time of question. And that's adding up. So the chart's adding up, right? If the servant house ruler is in this house, it means that the abductor or attacker was at the workplace during the time of question. All right, let me read that to you so you guys can see it. So this is for law enforcement too. That the actual person that took her, that hurt her, is also at the workplace during the time in question. This house is key when you are searching for runaway or household pets. So, and that's exactly what happened. This was a restaurant. This is a service place where people work, and that means that our would-be killer kidnapper could possibly have been at this location as well and saw the whole event unfold. Okay, so we could have either someone that was eating at the restaurant, or we have someone that works at the restaurant, okay? I don't want to rule that out either. That this could be an actual service worker as well, because they're showing up in the house of service as well, all right? So, the moon in Scorpio, which is the 2nd ruler of the 4th house, which is in the womb and in the tomb. So again, I mean, she could be in an area that has water. If it's a basement, she could be in an area that is near piping, okay, near where the water source is for the house. also can, you know, with Nemesis being there, that she may have been taken as, looked at as property, that she has an enemy. And that second house also rules service as well. Your skills and your possessions. How you're looked at as a piece of property. Algol and Taurus is, again, looked at like a piece of property. I mean, he's in the chart. He's in all of our charts, but he's still there. Chiron, a wound that never heals, the second degree. So again, she's looked at as property. Neptune is drugs and drowning, the 16th degree. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That rules Cancer. So emotions with drugs or drowning. Pisces also is, I hate to say it, pillow talk. Doing illegal activities with sex crimes as well. Trafficking, all right? She may have been taken back to somebody's home. In the car. All right, so let's look at the map. And you can kind of see how I did it. So in the middle of the map is the Flying J truck stop, or travel center. And I did the math. And I got the equations to follow for the math. So, let's try to do the 18th, or the AC line again for her, which was 18 degrees in Leo. So Leo degree is 120 plus 18. 120 plus 18 is 8, 3, 138. Okay, so 138. So I'm going to take this little doohag thing here and this little thing here, that thing there. Okay, and then we're going to just put it right over top. What did I come up with? See how quick I forgot it. 138, right? 138 degrees. $138. It's hard to get it right over top of where I need it to go. Sometimes I have to do it a couple of times. Like I have a lot of lines I still have to delete, but $138. Right there. Just passed over it. It's really hard, guys. I'm just telling you it's hard, okay, to get the numbers just right. It takes practice. This is why it's taken me so long to do. And the minute that you lift up your hand, it's like done. You lose it. $138. There it is. Take it just a little bit past this bank here. You know, I'm going outside my line, but I want to just take it a little bit outside my line. You can see. Okay. And then you can, I mean, I have a lot of circles, but that doesn't mean that, you know, people have to check these areas, but I just think they look interesting, especially here where this line, like, you know, meets. And it's interesting because it actually, like, picked up, like, parts in the parking lot, the entrance. You know, obviously, we're tracking someone, okay? We're tracking either the way the victim came in or the way the killer left or the way that the victim came to the truck stop. And I think this area here is weird too because it takes me to this weird little trailer in the back here. There's this weird little parking lot here. And it's taking me to like where all these little roads connect. There's some park here. So this is the line of Saturn. So we could have either this is where the killer works or is familiar with this area here. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of houses nearby. The moon line I found interesting as well. There's a couple of spots here on the moon line. Hope you guys can see it. You know, this looks like a path, and there's some abandoned house here. So the moon is the second ruler, and this takes like to some creek here. There's a creek here. So, and this is like a driveway, and then there's like rubble here. And it's just really weird how it takes us to exactly where spots would be, like where a car would have to be able to park and move around, right? Like where somebody would go to dump a body. I hate to think of it like that. It'd be interesting to know where was the killer parked, you know, were they parked here? Look, this takes us right to a pathway. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see it. It's very interesting. So, and there's all these trails back here. Corner of this parking lot. I couldn't get that to delete because I want to be able to see through the little spots, but it was really hard. Okay. So I'm interested to know if, you know, if all of these areas were searched here. Look, see, like this takes us right to another entrance. The moon line takes us to the main entrance inside here. A parking space right there as well is part of the moon. All this was part of the moon line. So it is interesting, and when I send this, I want to send this to law enforcement and see if any of this matches up. You know, where was her car parked? Where, you know, if they have any surveillance, and if they see a truck or a car move from any of these spots in this parking lot on surveillance, they need to check them out. Because here's another parking spot that it took me to right here. It took me to a parking spot right here. Right? This corner here. It took me over, and this would mean that the killer took her with them. Okay? That she's with them, that he took her in their domain. She went with them, or willingly or unwillingly. So look, it takes me all on this road here. I mean, because I could take this 12 miles and then and double it to 1,200 miles. I could follow this line all the way out, right? But I just went out 12 miles. But it is interesting how it takes us to these, it's just interesting how it takes us to these locations, right? On the maps. To these little roads and these little pathways. So I do feel like they traveled this way. Either they traveled this way on their way in or the way out. That's how I would look at it, right? And maybe someone had to get off at this intersection here to get rid of her body or to take her. And there's another, it looks like there's an older intersection here on this side. Here. This road here. I know this goes past our 12 miles, but still, I find that very interesting that it takes us here. And this is an old route to get in to the truck stop. So you would turn here and go down into the truck stop. And the moon line takes us right to this entrance here. Straight to this parking spot. So I find that very, very interesting. I don't know if you guys can see it. Takes us to this main entrance. This is the moon. And then to this parking spot right here. I find that interesting. I'd really like to know where she was parked. And there's another parking spot here as well. Takes us all the way out. Circle that as well. I should. Because I feel like where the lines crisscross, we should pay attention to. I know Kirsty said that we shouldn't do too many lines because then it gets confusing. But I don't know. I'm still learning, so maybe I'm doing too many lines. But I do think that there are areas of interest that we should pay attention to, you know? Here, where the lines cross. So this is the 12 mile that shows up on the chart. 12 miles. Right in here. And this line here goes right to this path. Like, what is that? There's this weird spot here. I find that very amazing that astrology does this. All right, so this is what I have so far. It's not good. I feel that she's looked at as a possession probably, or that there was a piece of jewelry or something on her, something that she owned, that somebody wanted something. Looking at her as a possession. Like, I find all this interesting here too. I know that no lines really go here, but I think I should circle it as well. Because it's right on the line. To me, I find that, I don't know, it just gives me a weird vibe anyway. All these pathways are very interesting to me. So. See. And evidently, this is the travel center and, I guess, restaurant area, right? But across the street is another truck stop. Like, this is a truck stop right here. And it goes right through here. There's something here. Look at that. Right where the lines meet. Do you guys see it? There's something there. Like, that needs to be checked. Aquarius is like where the tree line breaks. And Capricorn is on rocky soil, earth. So I find that very interesting. Wow, why did I make this big circle here? What the hell am I doing? Yeah, I don't think I meant to make a big circle like that. I think I just wanted to do a little circle, but I made it too big. Oh, I did it again. Sorry, guys. I'm still learning this program. It's really hard. It's so hard, but I'm getting there. I'm getting better. So you have to hit on this little hand thingy to move the screen. Yeah, like this here. It's interesting to me. All this. Even though I'm going past the 12 miles, I still want to highlight it. Just because it's interesting. Right? And then I'll erase it to get there. So, and you know, all this back parking lot is just kind of spooky looking to me too. So I am going to hopefully email this to the people involved in her case. Whoops, I really hope that they look at it. If they don't have anything, you know, this is when law enforcement can, if they have nothing and they don't want to really deal with a psychic, because I don't think they want to deal with a psychic. So, I mean, this, you know, of course I'm an intuitive person and I have a feeling when I'm looking at this, just like I do when I have tarot cards and all that, but this gives you a different feeling, you know? It's just a eerie feeling when you're pulling up the maps and then you look at these spots on the map and you're just like, ugh. Easily someone could dump a body here, right? Easily. And there was another body that was found, a young man that they found nude in a swampy area nearby this truck stop. So now these places that I'm circling on the map, I mean, it could have her keys. It could have, I mean, something personal of hers, her cell phone, you know, could be in any one of these areas that they had to take this road to get in here. These parking spaces here. So if there's any CCT footage, it'd be interesting to know if there's anything here. If anybody turned around on this road here, right? You can see these trucks coming in. I should circle that as well here to look there. There might be something dumped out right here because it's where the lines connect. I mean, I know I have probably way too many spots now, like, but I mean, it's just something to consider, I think, because it's where the lines cross, right? I don't know if you guys can see it, sorry. Right where the lines cross, right here. Right? It's like, can you see it? The lines cross right there to the circle. Right here. I mean, it's just the side of the road, but still. And dirt like this could be like the kind of dirt that she's buried in because we have Capricorn, which is rocky soil. Like, in this moon line, I really... So this rules the killer and the victim. Well, not the... The killer could be Saturn, right? So here's another little circle here where the lines connect. See? I don't know if you can see it here. There's a crisscross, right? There's a line going this way and then a line going that way. Can you see it? So I think I should circle that as well. There might be something there. Maybe some evidence. Maybe a weapon. You know? I mean, Mars would be the weapon line. Maybe I should do Mars. I mean, I have a lot of lines as it is already. And I think, you know, we have to be careful making too many lines. It gets really confusing. I may have made that circle too big, but whatever. I think it makes sense that either they came in on 75 going north or south, or these roads were utilized somehow in her crime. it just is amazing to me that you're actually starting to see like a pattern, you know? An actual pattern. Here's another area where the lines crisscross. Right here. Oh, we could have evidence or something there. It's hypothetical. I probably have way too many circles and bubbles, but you see, there's a line. That's where the 12-mile marker is. And then you have the line going this way. I don't know if you can see it. It's where they meet and cross over. Just like here, they meet and cross over. So, I do find it interesting. Maybe we made this circle too big. All right, so this is what I have for Keeslyn, for her mapping, for where possible body locations could be, where her possible killer could work or live. All over top of her last location that she was last seen alive. Now, I might do another map for an hour later, right? Like, do a whole other map for 8:30. I could do a whole other map for 9:30, right? And see if they match up to some degree. So that's what I might do. All right, so it doesn't look good. It is kind of an ominous chart. I do believe there's a vehicle involved. I do believe that she has an enemy, an enemy. Nessus is involved here. I don't know why it's not showing up on the chart, actually. I did enter Nessus, didn't I? I did. But Nessus is here in the 7th house. So that's abuse from an open enemy. And the fact that we have Saturn and the Sun in the same house, in the house of service, I think that the person that hurt her actually was there. Probably witnessed her having a fight with this female. Maybe they came to her as to help service her. Oh yeah, let me read to you what they say about Aquarius, because this is what our killer is going to look like. Okay. Aquarius. Middle stature, well-shaped, clear skin, fair yet handsome, composed body, whitish bright hair, and sometimes yellow. Aquarius on the 7th implies criminality through humanitarian-related issues or revolt. So she might have looked like she was a girl in need, right? And like I said, the 5th house rules like a runaway. Were they looking for a runaway? Okay, so sometimes yellow and sometimes yellow. Aquarius on the 7th implies criminality through humanitarian-related issues or revolt. Someone who feels the victim has impeded his or her future in some way. Feeling out of place, distant, often the appearance is unusual. Can look gangly, with long arms and legs. Some even say alien-like. A shade of seriousness and originality. So Aquarius people, they kind of have that... They kind of look like an alien because it rules, they look unique, right? They have a distinct look to them. And they can be more fair. Whitish bright hair, because it's showing up in Saturn, I do feel like we have a person that might be older than 30. Even up into their 50s, 60s possibly. Because it might be an older male with Saturn there. I'm feeling like she might not be alive because of the 10th degree, which rules murder of Sagittarius. And it could be someone at a workplace because the 10th degree rules your reputation, how you are at work, your career, right? Second house rules the hands, and it rules looking at somebody like a possession. And she has an enemy there. A wound that does not heal, looking at somebody like a possession. Neptune is about drugs in the 16th house, which is Cancer, so going back to someone's house, maybe to do drugs, because we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So drugs can be involved here. It's going down to murder. It's going down to basically the 10th degree of Sagittarius is that fixed star that I told you. Chubaba or whatever it's called. It means murder. In the womb and in the tomb. And Mars is a weapon. So it could be a stabbing or it could be a gunshot wound. And also, Aquarius rules friends. So in your friend group. So an older man in her friend group, possibly. Or an older man that portrayed themselves to her to be a humanitarian, right? An older man that approached her to, you know, give her some humanitarian effort. And I do feel like she was vulnerable with the North Node in Cancer. The North Node in Cancer is like vulnerability. 8th house of death. Being vulnerable to somebody. The 8th degree rules the 8th house of death. And Pluto can rule like murder, or that a person is under severe stress, that she may have been mentally suffering herself. And, you know, here we are. 10th degree of Sagittarius can mean murder. So, I mean, I don't think she made it, guys. I don't think she made it. I'm really sorry to say that, but I don't think that she did. All right, so this is what I have. I'll show you the map again real fast, so we can see it. I hope we find her. All right, blessings to you all. Blessed be. Bye-bye now.